Oh, hey guys, what's up? I just filmed the video maybe a couple, I don't know, maybe a minute ago. Let's just lower that. Yeah, and now we're trying to beat our high score. Again, we've done this multiple times, succeeded maybe once or twice, failed a lot. But it's okay, we're gonna try it again. Now, I don't really know what to talk about, because usually I talk in these videos about anything and everything, but I don't know what to talk about. So you know what? Let's talk about things that I don't like about school. Now, disclaimer, this is just my opinion, and I don't want to be accounted for any of these, dude. This is just my opinion, and yeah, that's literally it. It's just an opinionized thing, and no one get offended, okay? If you like school, then whatever. My opinion. So, first off, I understand teachers need to discipline kids, but in some cases, I've seen teachers try to discipline kids by trying to literally reduce everybody else's grade. Now, listen to me. If someone wanted to mess around in your class, would they care about other students' grades if they were that of a menace? No! So why would you include other people in there, dude? Like, tell you what. If I said, if this teacher acted terrible to students, I'm gonna reduce your pay. Yeah, you would not like that. Because everybody needs money, and students need their grades. If people actually wanted to mess around in the class, suit themselves, not include other people. That's just gonna motivate them to annoy people even more and get them to lower grades just like them. Like, I know teachers think that it's gonna make them have their conscience awakened, that's terrible because it's gonna get their classmates' grades reduced. Now, newsflash, that's not how kids work. And secondly, some kids just don't got mercy. Simple as that. They don't care if anybody else fails. If they fail, everybody else fails, who cares? They don't. Simple as that. And I'm not trying to be a nerd here who's like trying to protect his grades. I don't know. I'm not a person that cares about a lot of grades. I'm not a nerd. Now, I don't discriminate any nerdy type people there, but what I mean by that is like, why, dude? Don't include other people in people's mess, dude. Like, stop doing it. Like, I understand that they might have conscience deep inside them, but as of now, as of being bullies and some other stuff, they don't, obviously. So including other people in there is just basically giving them a prison sentence while the prisoner walks free. Bro. Sometimes I really don't care much about my grades. But getting a notice of, if they don't stop, everybody's gonna fucking fail. Nah, I'm sorry. What? I'm here working hard, and this guy's yelling at the top of his lungs that we're all gonna fail because of this one big idiot. Now, tell me, if you were in class, and then some guy was meddling around, Would you accept that your teacher say, everybody fails because of this guy?
Great.
Of course not. You want your grades. You don't want any other people ruining your chances for you. And we're all the same. Don't be thinking they're gonna listen to you because they already did not listen. What's gonna change that? Failing them? They're already almost failed. What's that gonna do? I hate the chill. Now, why? That's the first thing. Why? Like, you know these people did not do anything. I've seen teachers go, yeah, your classmates are gonna fail because of you guys. Don't you ever care? No, they don't. Of course they don't. What did you expect them to do? Cry about it because their classmates fail? No!
Great.
They only care about their gang type thing and then themselves. What else? Nothing. Okay? Simple as that. They won't care if any other student fails. To them, sucks to suck. If they failed with us, doesn't matter. Let's fail together. Like, bruh. I know sometimes this is just not true at all, but some teachers take it actually seriously. Like, I'm seriously considering here. What the heck? Like, man, what did we do? Like, I'm usually one of the kids that is just quiet for once. I just got the high score, okay. I guess yelling about teachers' mistakes is I'm so sorry. No. Like, bro, I'm usually one of the people that just want to get the class finished and not make my own life a living hell.
Good.
So, giving these guys the glory of making my life worse is basically giving them a cupcake. Bro.
Unbelievable.
It's basically saying do whatever you want because your classmates are going to get the punishment for it. Not you, because you're already failing. You're gonna get the punishment, but it's not as bad as them that are actually working hard to survive. I'm so sorry for yelling, but yeah, that's annoying sometimes.
Great.
Never mind, not sometimes. All the time, actually. No, again, I know that some teachers don't take this literally, but again, some do. You can't just put everybody in the same place, can you? Of course not. Some people just take everything too seriously because, I don't know. It's them. You don't get a say on what they want to do. They want to terrorize students? Sure. They want to break dreams? Absolutely. Now, I've also seen teachers that are absolutely diabolical. I've seen teachers that are like, I don't know, extremely rude. I've seen teachers that try to fail students on purpose, by the way. I've seen teachers try to make enemies of students just because they didn't do what they wanted them to do. Who knows what else they could have done. Okay, that was very terrible placement. I did a very amazing job there. I'm glad I'm still surviving. I'm literally steaming.
Great.
Dude,
Amazing.
like, literally though. Why? Some teachers like to make enemies with students, especially when they, like, I don't know.
Great.
Like, I've heard that some teachers get offended of what students talk about and make them their enemies. They're kids, man! What did you expect them to do? Of course they're gonna gossip about it. Duh. If you're a terrible teacher, accept it.
Good.
No, I need to chill,
Unbelievable.
but yeah. I've already surpassed my high score, like, absolutely, by yelling at teachers who are ever watching this.
Unbelievable.
If you're a teacher, you're watching this, I don't feel sorry. Because some things just need to be told. Like, no joke. You lecture students, so let me do the talking now. Okay, I'm kidding, but yeah. Some things just have to be told sometimes, even though they hurt. That's obvious. Yes, truth hurts. Yes, I shouldn't be telling them if they hurt somebody. But
Great.
they need to hear them. Especially if they're delusional about them being everything. Them being the best thing in the entire thing. Just because they're adults. Now, I've seen people think that. I understand that they're adults and all. They know more than us. But some people take that to a T. Literally. Like, okay. Like, people have such ways that I can't understand at all, and I'm about to lose, but it's okay. And new best. Now, people have their, their way of teaching students. I've seen a lot of those. And some have fun ways, teaching them with games and stuff. But most teach them with absolute irony for kids. They don't care. And some just barely teach at all. Just put like a PPT in front of the TV and then, yep, read it, copy it, study if you want to. And if you don't, sucks to suck. Now, here's some criticization of all of those teachers and things that they actually did right. Since I want to play more, let's talk about more. First, the fun teacher. The fun teacher is a very great teacher when you just want to chill. Usually they're like the sports type teacher, like PE. Yeah, usually they're that teacher because it's activities and stuff. Yeah, they're usually fun. And they are fun, actually. Some of them are fun. Some of them are just, But yeah, they're usually fun. They're great. But some things just have to be controlled. First off, some teachers just let their students go ramp wild like animals. Now, I get the let them have freedom bit, but letting 14, 15, something like that year old kids have rampant freedom over everything is just not a good idea. I know that
Amazing.
from everything I've done, to the things my classmates have done, and everything else in between. I know that gets bad. Like, really, really bad.
Great.
Because some kids would get into fist fights because of crushes and stuff. Yeah. Don't ask, I don't got the answer.
Excellent.
Yep, people back then had
Good.
fist fights because someone liked their crush. Oh my god. I witnessed that one, dude. No joke.
Good.
So, yeah, that was also in PE class, and that was when one of my teachers realized that giving students the freedom to do anything in that class was not a good idea. But now I know most of these teachers really don't do that. They let their students have fun, but not as far as they destruct everything in their path. No, I know that. But some do, actually. And I want to point out that kids don't have as much discipline as adults do. I know that for sure.
Good.
I'm a child myself. I know how rampant and insane I could get if they let me have every bit of freedom to do whatever they want.
Good.
Yeah, I've done stuff that I'm not supposed to do. Probably more on the
Good.
normal scale of things than the other things I've seen. Cause I'm a pretty normal kid, dude. I'm basically the quiet guy in the background. Sometimes. Sometimes I become the menace. Sometimes I see menaces. Sometimes I
Excellent.
battle menaces, and sometimes I what do you call that? I congregate with the menaces. So I know kids have rampant things that they can and will do. Now, the good thing about this is kids actually have fun in the class, not just live in pure hell. Because of the class itself, like, yeah, it's a lot more fun than anything else. Really.
Great.
And if you have the fun PE teacher, man, that was the best feeling. Like getting to like talk and play things with your friends back then was so fun. Like that was peak, like actual peak. I misplaced that, but it's okay. I think I can definitely redeem it. That's the good thing about it. The next one is the teacher. Also, there's a bunch of other stuff, other types of teachers that I haven't mentioned yet. Next up, I'm going to be talking about is the teachers that want to tell their students stories in the middle of classes. The good thing about this is the students get entertained. Not all the time, but they get entertained in a way, one way or another. I've had this teacher in grade 7, and not gonna lie, the stories were fun. They were like entertaining somehow, but in a way we didn't really learn much. Because it would veer off from the story relating to the topic to their life story and everything about them. Now, I understand that kids have to know stuff about you. You want them to know stuff about you, but veering off the lection off of that isn't really the best idea. Because getting kids off the topic of actually learning is something that some teachers do as a distraction for themselves, just to have peace for a little bit. You know, because kids don't like to learn. Simple as that. Some kids do, some kids don't. And most of the kids that don't really care. So they're gonna run rampant around the entire place and probably destroy the creature's mental health. So I'd understand why they
Unbelievable.
actually, tell stories just to ease themselves and the students a little bit, then get back to class. But sometimes it would just veer off topic and the class would just become a story show.
Great.
It wouldn't become a class anymore, would it be?
Unbelievable.
It'd become a story time with Ma'am Blank, you know? That's kind of how it went. Now, it was actually fun, and we learned something about it at least. Because the first part would be like near the lesson, and then the other parts would just go off topic.
Great.
And then she'd be talking about her life choices and her journeys, which is fun. Okay. I'll check that later. Her life journeys and everything. So, yeah, which is it's fun, really, but that's my criticization. It sometimes takes away from the actual lesson and including the time of the lesson, which teachers kind of rush sometimes
Good.
because they have other classes to attend to, and doing this can waste time. And for me that barely listens to classes, now, I'm sorry, but I barely listen to classes. Those stories are actually great to listen to, other than talking about the literaries of the olden days. That would be much better than listening to all that. So I was more than happy to listen to to listen to any of the teacher's stories, because at least they were more interesting than learning about some old literary piece thing that I would never understand. So yeah, over time I grew to like the stories. Okay. So
Amazing.
yeah, the good thing about it is it gives the students something to entertain themselves, judge off of everything, and maybe give them life lessons on the way of the story. This is a great way to teach students life lessons and everything else in between. But the only thing with this is it does waste time. Time is a pretty important factor when it comes to classes. And I just lost. And yeah. And now the next thing is the teacher that is just boring. The teacher that just puts up a PPT on the TV and then just tells students to read and copy, and then sits back down, probably playing their phone on silent. Now, this teacher usually barely cares about their job. I'm not putting this as a stereotype. That's just what I noticed. Is just an opinionative thing. I just lost. So yeah, they basically sometimes, most of the time, don't really care about some of their job and just try to make stuff and then make their students listen to it, or they just have gotten fed up with trying to deal with the students and decided to just put up a PPT so they don't have to scream out loud at kids that are just meddling around, doing nothing but messing up their own lives. Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons. So fair, I guess. The good thing about this is it actually gives the teachers time for themselves. Just to let the students copy, because at that moment it's usually pretty quiet. But the only thing about this is students barely learn. I understand that some people say that reading is the start of. Okay, I'm going to check that later. Okay, stop. Reading is the start of understanding. Now, do students
Excellent.
actually read what they have notes? Now, some do. Yes, of course. Some people just really want to get their grades. Of course. I respect those guys, dude. I don't know how they do it. I could never. So, yeah, some people actually do. But teachers expect everybody to do it. No. Newsflash, bud. Barely anyone does. Only your top students do. Maybe some of them don't. I don't know. Because I sometimes am one of the top students and I don't read any notes.
Amazing.
Hell no. I don't want to give myself anxiety, dude. That's a life sentence. So, yeah. I think most people actually don't read their notes. Like, no joke. Some people are delighted to read their notes so they can learn more, but that's not the mindset of most people. I know that from experience. That's not my mindset. That's not the mindset of my
Unbelievable.
friends, nor is it the mindset of almost anybody I've met. I think the only time that this would actually be a mindset of people is either they're pressured by their parents or they actually want to go to school, which I don't think most people do. I think
Unbelievable.
most people at this age really reliably just want to chill in bed and do nothing for the rest of the day. No, I get that. That's understandable. Duh. Who doesn't want to just chill there? Chill in your bed, chill all day, and have nothing to worry about. That would be amazing. So, a lot of people really don't read notes, nor do they understand what they're trying to write. They write letters on a piece of paper and forget about it. Don't say it's not true, dude.
Great.
We both know, right here, right now, that most students don't read their notes. Like, even I don't keep tabs on notes at all. If I did, that was probably for like something actually serious. But most of the time, heck no.
Good.
I would literally rather. I would rather like fail than write notes, or actually like read notes. I don't mean that literally. What I mean is like, you know, sometimes it's tiring to read notes. And people just tend to forget about their notes anyway. So that type of teacher isn't really the best for learning, obviously. Now, the teacher that tries to explain everything in the most easy way possible is one of the greatest teachers ever. I don't know how they have the patience to do that, especially with their screaming kids in the background, but yeah, they somehow can and do. I respect those guys, dude. Somehow they got the willpower and the strength to not break the heads of these kids. So yeah, the good thing about those teachers is they're good at teaching. They make the students understand. But the bad thing about them is they explain them thoroughly, but barely any people listen. And usually those guys don't the only thing with those guys is they easily get abused by students, especially if they're kind people. They get abused by students, like played around by students. I don't know, a bunch of stuff there. There's a bunch of stuff that can and do happen. Like, teachers actually... Like, I've seen teachers that have tried to explain everything to yelling students, and then over time they just break down and cry in front of the class. I've seen that happen. Maybe once or twice. It's not common. It's not impossible though. Which is the thing. These teachers get so abused that over time they just break down and explode. And that's when you see the most scary teacher of all time. The kindest teachers become the most terrifying. No, I'm not joking, by the way. No jokes on this one. These teachers just don't have chill when they get mad. Fair enough, dude. They've been holding in the anger just to teach the students for so long, and then one day they explode and everybody talks about them, and it's like, this teacher's terrible. You guys are worse.
Good.
Think about it. This teacher just wants to teach students and make them understand the topics, and then y'all are yelling at the top of your lungs just because you wanted to have fun with your friends. Think about that. I'm gonna pause for a second, make you hold it in, you know? Hold it in for a little bit. I think if you were that teacher, you'd give up on it instantly. And they didn't give up on it for so long. They've survived that role of the kind teacher for so long, the one that actually explains stuff. The next one is the ruthless teachers. These teachers are ruthless, obviously. They do not care. If you fail, they do not care. If you drop out, they do not care. These teachers are good for humbling students, but when people actually want to do their stuff, and then they want to get like second chances and everything, they do not care. Dude, these teachers are menaces. And yeah, the good thing about these again is like they can humble students. The bad thing about this is other students that actually care about classes just get ignored because they do not care. Next up is the teacher that just can't stop yelling at people. They be targeting single-handedly everybody in the class one by one and showing their terribleness to the entire class like it's some kind of presentation. And yeah, the good thing about these is students probably are more quieter with this teacher because they don't want to get shamed in front of the class. Now that's most of the time. The bad thing about these is it ruins the students. It ruins the students, like, you know, image of the teacher. Like, students that are absolutely diabolical actually most likely hate this teacher. Yeah, this teacher gets so much hate.
Good.
So I think that will be it for the whole video, guys. At least I got the high score. I'm going to be posting this. I don't think it's going to be instantly because I have to check chats and everything. So yeah, goodbye guys. See you next time. Where's the... oh.